As part of the Embassy's Distinguished American Speaker Series, Ambassador and Mrs. Cunningham hosted renowned law professor and political commentator Alan Dershowitz for a stimulating Friday morning discussion moderated by TV anchor Yaakov Ahimeir in front of students, lawyers, and distinguished guests. After the discussion, Professor Dershowitz shared some of his thoughts on U.S. Israel relations and other regional issues with the Embassy's YouTube audience.
It's absolutely crucial for there to be a strong, positive partnership between Israel and the United States. It's good for the United States. It's good for America's credibility abroad that it supports its allies who are in danger militarily and security-wise. It's good for Israel, obviously, and I think it's good for the world. Israel can't make peace unless it knows it has the military and security backing of the United States. Israel has obviously never asked for military troops to support it, but the kind of military aid it needs in terms of weapons and other capability. I think it's in America's interest for there to be a strong relationship. I hope the relationship will continue to be strengthened over time. There have been mistakes on both sides in the past, and I think those mistakes are in the process of being abated. I think the elements are all in place for a real peace, because I see the divisions between Israel and the Palestinians and the Americans as pragmatic and as gulfable. They're not ideological as they used to be. I think we have a very pragmatic leadership among the Palestinians with Abbas and Fayyad. I think we have a very pragmatic leadership of the Israelis with Netanyahu, who really wants to make peace. And President Obama is a very practical and pragmatic president. And that's what's needed: a compromise, a willingness to engage, a willingness to do not only symbolic gestures, but real movements toward a peace which will allow Israel to have security, maintain its security, but really bring about a warm peace, not the kind of cold peace that we now see. Well, false charges against Israel, for example, those made in the Goldstone report, are being taken seriously in many parts of the world. It shouldn't be. The Goldstone report is a total fraud. It's a pack of lies. The idea that Israel would deliberately target civilians for death is totally antagonistic to all of Israel's policies and what the Israeli people and government want. They did more to prevent civilian deaths than any country in history of warfare, as Colonel Kemp, who was the head of British forces in Afghanistan and NATO, confirmed as a military expert. But the International Criminal Court has a possible investigation. The UN is appointing a committee of experts. So the case to delegitimate Israel and to use improper lawfare against Israel is increasing. And as a lawyer, I see my role to defend the underdog. And Israel has clearly become the underdog in the international community, and I will not rest until Israel is treated fairly by a single standard of justice. So one of my good friends in Israel is Amasaz, the great writer, and he told me that he was having a haircut the other day by a Russian barber, an old Russian barber, and the Russian guy said, "I hate Israel." And Amasaz says, "Why do you hate Israel?" He says, "This is a country where everybody thinks they can have an opinion on every issue." And that's what I love about Israel. Everybody has an opinion. I don't get into a taxi cab. I don't go to a bar in which somebody doesn't shake their finger at me because they know what my positions are and tell me why I'm wrong. So, for me, as a guy who loves feisty argument, there's no better place in the world. And the hummus is beyond belief.